my name's Chloe and I'm from Kahu Vet, and this is your video demonstration for our Hawkmed Syringe Infusion Pump. Your new unit should have arrived with the syringe pump itself, a power cord and a user manual for the syringe pump. On the back of our unit we will find the insert point for our power cord. We also have this pole clamping device here, so that can be mounted onto your IV poles. This can also be rotated a 90-degree angle if you're looking at mounting onto like a kennel bar, something similar. And that can just be done by loosening the screw in the middle point of this clamping device and adjusting and tightening again. We also have at the base, these are stackable syringe pumps. So at the base here we have two slots on either side, which can be, so they can join onto the top of another syringe pump. If you are stacking and you need a release, the release mechanism is this button at the top here. So it's just a pull and release mechanism. We also have a little carry handle on this unit that pops out from the top, just for ease of transport. And to the front of our unit, we have our display screen here with our control panel. We also have our LED light here in the corner, which will alarm for occlusions and other types of alarms. We then have our plunger control, which is just released with a button under the rear here. And that controls the holding device for the syringe plunger. It also has this white release button here. If we're needing to reset, we can do so by just pressing in that white button. We also have the syringe holder, which is a pull and turn clamp. So we can pull and turn, pop our syringe in and just release it back into position to hold the syringe in place. To set up our syringe pump for patient use, we will need a Lurlock syringe, minimum volume extension set, and once we've filled our syringe and primed our extension set, we'll be able to pop our setup into the syringe pump. We can use the button on the underside again to open these syringe plunger holding arms here and extend this device outwards. If we do need to reset this again at any point, this little white button here can be clicked to reset the arms back into a closed position. So we'll just pop that open and prep for our syringe being popped in place. We'll then need to open the syringe holding arm, which is this clamp here, and that gets pulled towards you and rotated to keep it pushed out. We can then take our syringe and we can see these grooves at the side here is where we're going to be popping this part of the syringe into and making sure it's nicely aligned. So we can just go ahead and pop that in position. We can then use our syringe holding clamp if we rotate that back into position, and it will lock the syringe in place. We can then pop the plunger control down onto the syringe plunger and lock that in place as well. This will then be ready for you to turn on and set your rate and volume to be infused using the display screen and control panel. To operate our syringe pump, we can first supply power via the power cord and switching on at the wall. We can see that the AC light has illuminated and the green light next to it above battery is also illuminated. When the battery light is illuminated green, this indicates that the power supply is charging the internal battery. Once this light turns off, it shows that the battery has a full charge and means that the syringe pump can be used while no longer plugged in to the power supply. Alongside our display screen, we have our number pad here, with these numbers also doubling as our letter pad as well. The 8 and 9 also double as our up and down arrows, and the decimal point also works as the back button, which we can use to navigate the menu once we've turned our pump on. Further along these operational buttons here, we have our bolus, which can be used pressed and held down to administer a bolus when we're administering fluids to our patient. We have the start button, we have the alarm clear or stop button, we have an enter, silence and clear, and the power button. To turn on our syringe pump, we can hold down the power button. You'll first have this notice appear on your screen asking you to install the syringe. We've already done that here, and you can also choose to skip this step if you're looking to just set up the pump for your patient later and install the syringe when you're ready. We can use the back arrow to get past this message. The unit will then perform a system self-check, just running through a series of beeps and illuminating our LED light in the corner. The pump has entered the rate mode. Your pump will always start on the previously selected mode setting that you've been using. We can look at the other modes available by pressing the back button. We can see a range of different modes for administering here. We have time mode, for example, which will give you the option to enter your volume to be infused, the time you'd like it infused over, which will give you your rate. Going back again for another example is the TIVA mode on number 5. In this mode, we have the ability to set our units, weight, concentration, to customize the administration for our patients. We'll go back again as we will enter the rate mode for now, which is likely the commonly used settings for most clinics. In our rate mode setting, we can see we've got 2 options to adjust. We have our rate for the mils per hour and our volume to be infused for the total mils you would like administered for your patient. To adjust the rate, we just need to press our corresponding number, which is 1, and we can adjust this on our number pad. We must press enter to confirm this adjustment. For volume to be infused, we press number 2, and we can prop the total volume to be infused in here. This pump is now ready to start infusion with your patient. Once you've connected your infusion to your patient and clamps have been released and you're ready to start your infusion, we can press the start button. This will start infusing your syringe to your patient. In the screen, we can see at the top our 20ml Lurlock BD syringe has automatically updated due to our calibration. We have here our battery charging, which is showing a full battery charge, which we can also see our battery light is no longer illuminated, which means this pump would be ready to take off power supply if needed. We have our rate that we set as mils per hour here. We have our volume to be infused total here. The duration of your infusion is listed under here, so at the moment it's 2 hours and 13 minutes. And this blue changing number here is the volume that's currently been infused. We also have this little visual of your syringe infusing into your patient. Finally, at the bottom left of the display screen, it just says running to show that the infusion is going successfully. If an occlusion is encountered, your syringe pump will stop infusing into the patient so that you can have the opportunity to resolve the issue. We'll clamp our line now to mimic this occlusion for you. Our pump has detected the occlusion An LED light has started flashing to alert us to this. The infusion has automatically stopped and it's displaying occlusion at the top of our screen here. We can silence the alarm while we get to work on resolving the occlusion by pressing the silence button. This will show a temporary pause on our alarm at the bottom screen here. Once we've resolved the occlusion issue, we can then clear the alarm with the A.clear, which is alarm clear button. And we can press start again to restart our infusion on our patient. To administer a bolus for your patient, you can do so by holding down the bolus button. We can see this is now bolusing at a previously set rate of 400 mils per hour, which we'll discuss shortly how to set this for each syringe size. We can see our volume infusing is increasing quite rapidly as the bolus rate, and our bolus volume is being recorded at the top here. When we stop pressing the bolus button, the bolus will stop and return to our previously set rate of mils per hour, which is 4.5. If we would like to do another bolus, again, we can just press and hold that bolus button and we can see our bolus volume is increasing again. Again, to stop, just let go of your bolus button. When you need to stop your infusion, you can do so by pressing the stop button. This will bring you back to our rate mode screen, but as it's been used to administer the syringe contents to our patient, it's kept the volume that's already been infused. This screen's great as while we're taking patients out for walking or procedures, we can stay in this screen. So when we return our patient to be connected to the infusion pump, we can just press start again, which brings us back in with the same volume that's already been infused and the remaining hours of the infusion duration. When we're wanting to stop our infusion and we're finished with this infusion rate for our patient, we want to press number 3 for end injection. This will remove any volume that's been infused and take us back to the original rate mode screen where we can adjust our settings as required. We can access our settings for our Hawkmed syringe pump from any screen that's currently being displayed by pressing the back button. Going from the rate mode will first put us back in the screen for all the additional mode options that we can use. Pressing back again will put us in the main menu, which again has the mode selection, which is the one we've just come from, which is number 1 with all the different functions for your mode settings. Going back again, number 2 is going to take us into the full settings list. We can navigate the settings list by using the numbers corresponding to the keypad to enter any of the settings required. We can also see additional settings to adjust by using your up and down arrows and your 8 and 9 key to move through this menu. Starting from the top of our settings menu, the first option available to us is syringe brand. This allows us to customize our preference for the syringe brand we would like to use with our syringe pump. The yellow highlighted writing currently displayed is showing us that BD is the preference for this pump. We can adjust this by entering the corresponding number 1, and we can see here with the BD syringe brand selected, we have our 5, 10, 20, 30 and 50 ml options calibrated. These have been calibrated by entering the length and tail measurements of our syringe and plunger. We have another preset option as B Brawn, and the following options are all currently blank as these are the brands that you can customize in clinic as per your brand preference. Going back up to our BD brand, we'll press enter to confirm our selection. To calibrate the syringe brand so that we can use them on our pump, we'd use syringe calibration under number 2. Here we can set our brand names using number 1, scrolling down with the 8 and 9 as required, and then again pressing the corresponding number to adjust your text. So here we could change the brand if we decided to. So we'll pop it just back to B for us, and again enter to confirm. This is how you can list the different brands if you're looking to add multiple customized syringes. Going back, we can see that there is syringe calibration under number 2. This is again where we have our customized list of the names. And if we were wanting to customize one, say brand A, would hit 1. And we can see this gives us the options to calibrate all the different syringe sizes. For example, if we went into number 3, which is 20, it's going to give us 2 options now for an auto measurement or a manual measurement of your syringe. To auto measure, we'd press 1, and you get a notice asking you to draw back your syringe to the 20 ml mark. I would do this just with air into the syringe, pop it into the syringe with the plunger control arm and the holding device in place, and then I'd press yes. The syringe would then calibrate to that size. We'll go back with no at this stage, number 2, and we will have a look in the manual measurement of syringe, which is number 2. Here you would measure and you'd manually measure and enter your length, tail and diameter of your syringe, and then press 4 to confirm. Before pressing confirm, we would install the syringe so that the syringe pump can calibrate and recognize the different lengths you've entered so that it can enter these for the brand selected. We can go back with our back arrow. Your occlusion sensitivity can also be adjusted under number 3 on the screen. Here we have the level, so the amount you would like it to alarm at, which is currently 30 kPa, which we can adjust by just pressing the corresponding number, adjusting as required, and pressing enter to confirm. We can also adjust the unit of our measurement with number 2, using 8 and 9 to adjust, and pressing enter to confirm. Going back again, our next setting here is for the bolus settings. Our bolus settings can be customized specifically for each syringe. For example, using a 10 ml syringe would give you a 200 ml per hour bolus rate with these current settings. If we wanted to change that, for example, for the 20 ml, which is currently 400 ml per hour, we could press the corresponding number 3. We could adjust this as required, say we'll pop it down to 300, and press enter again to confirm. We can go back again with the back button to the main menu. Number 5 here has our KVO settings, or keep vein open setting, which is a simple 1 for on and off, and 2 is to set your rate and enter to confirm. Going back into the main menu, the final one on this first screen of our settings menu is the key lock. We can press number 6 to adjust this, to lock our keys say after 5 minutes or 4 minutes of an activity as preferred. We currently have this set on never, so we'll just press enter to confirm. Moving down to the next page of our settings menu, we'll find a few more generic settings such as sound, brightness, your key sounds being on or off, your date and time, your pressures, and also the infusion log. Your infusion log can either be uploaded to an external source using number 1, or to view the log on the device itself, you just press number 2, and you can scroll through the previous cases with your up and down arrows. Going back again, and we will use our down arrow to get us into the next page of our settings menu. Here we have a few more options in our menu settings to customize. The first we can set for a time period of inactivity. This will help us if we're in the middle of a setup and get distracted with another task, meaning our pump will alarm after the 5 minutes set to alert us that we need to come back and finish the setup. The second one down, almost done, currently set as 3 minutes in the highlighted yellow writing. This shows us when this will alarm to show us that our volume to be infused set for our patient is almost finished. So when we've only got 3 minutes left of the volume to be infused, then this will alarm to say it's almost done. Night mode and number 3 can be turned on if you're looking to use the pump in a lower stimulating environment or overnight. This mode removes the key beeps, dulls the light, and reduces the sounds emitted. 4 is your language settings. 5 can be used to restore to default factory settings. And 6 is for turning on and off your Wi-Fi. Moving down again through our settings menu to the next page, we have a few more options. We can set an inspection alarm. In this case it's set 3 monthly, so an alarm will be triggered when an inspection's due. The anti-bolus feature can be turned on or off, and this can help reduce the risk of a bolus being administered when an occlusion has been cleared. Your purge volume to be infused rate is a setting that can be used while in the stop screen of running your infusion. This will purge the line until it's clear of any bubbles, and it's very important that this isn't connected to your patient while you're doing this. Your pump should alarm if it detects connection to your patient and not allow you to do the purge volume to be infused. Next down we have near empty. Near empty, different to when your volume to be infused will be finished, is the time duration of your infusion being close to finish. So when only 3 minutes of the infusion remains. Your system check should stay on, as this is a self-check system that performs on startup. And your auto shutdown can be set if desired, so that the pump shuts down automatically after a certain period of inactivity. For our final page of the settings menu, if we go down once more, here we have our developer mode, which is just used for technical support, so shouldn't be required in the clinical environment. And number 2 is just your machine information. For the final part of this instructional video, we'll show you how to test your pump for accuracy to determine that the pump is delivering your syringe contents to your patient as per the settings you've entered on the pump. We can do this with a 20ml Lurlock syringe, and what we've done with our settings is our rate mode has been set to 200 mils per hour, a little bit high here just for the purposes of this test to get through the syringe contents. The important one here is our volume to be infused. That we've set as a total of 10 mils. On our syringe, we've drawn back to our 20 mil mark, and we're going to make sure that's nicely on the line there for 20 mils. And the reason we're drawing back to 20 mils here and doing the volume to be infused as 10 is we want to be able to see if there's any discrepancy on the syringe. So it will give it the ability to go above or beyond that 10 mil mark, so we can see if there is a major discrepancy. Now that we've got that all set up with our rate and volume to be infused, we can press our start button to start the infusion. We can see our total for the infusion is about 3 minutes here, so we'll just wait for that one to finish. And what we're hoping to see is the syringe expelled down to the 10 mil mark and finished exactly on that 10 mil line. We do allow a discrepancy of 0.5 mil, but anything outside of that, then please do contact us so we can support you through this one. We've just headed into our final mil of our infusion now, so we should see our alarm, our syringe pump alarm shortly with a finish signal, and hopefully that line is accurate on our 10 mil mark. Awesome, so infusion's finished with our LED light and alarm signaling, so we can just press stop to go back into our hold screen. And we can see our syringe contents are nicely on that 10 ml mark. So this is showing that this pump here is delivering accurately. Again, any discrepancy more than 0.5 ml of your volume to be infused, please do give us a call so we can support you through this one. To turn off your pump, you can just press and hold your power button.